Today I am speaking with John Joseph, who is an Irish actor and spends a portion of his time in Ireland and a portion of his time in Spain. I want to give you a heads up on this particular one. When we spoke, John was on his phone from a cafe while vacationing in Portugal. So there's going to be quite a bit of background noise. It doesn't necessarily prevent you from hearing anything either of us say, but there is, of course, that constant background chatter. So hopefully it's not too much of a problem for you. If you'd like, I've actually spoken to John previously on the No Budget YouTube channel that I used to do when I was actually living in Ireland. And on that, we talk about a film that he made. This particular discussion, we don't go into that at all. We just kind of talk about, how we're keeping ourselves entertained during the COVID era, talking about online classes and workshops and the advantage of those, and just kind of have a nice discussion. So once again, hope the background noise doesn't bother you, and enjoy. Before we get into today's interview, I want to let you know about another podcast I host called the No Budget Filmcast. Each week on the Filmcast, I am joined by co-hosts Cathal Feeney and Claire Milan, and we take a look at the independent films that you might not have heard about elsewhere. Most movie review podcasts focus on the big budget Hollywood films. Not us. We know that there are brilliant feature and short films being made all the time that people are not hearing about, and those are the films we want to look at. So if you love independent cinema, tune in to the No Budget Filmcast. New episodes drop every Thursday and are available at Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or, you know what I'm going to say next, wherever you get your podcasts. Because you're still trying to make a living as an actor, or do you have a day job these days? What are you up to? What are you up to since the past year and a half since we spoke?
Was it a year? It hasn't been a year and a half. Oh my god, can't believe it. So I'm all right. So in March, so you see, I had a day job as well as an English teacher, and then I lost that because of COVID, the pandemic. So I went back to Ireland. I was in Ireland from March. Well, I'm still in Ireland, but I'm actually on holidays now in Portugal.
Well, there's worse places to be stuck. I mean, personally, I really enjoyed Portugal.
It is fabulous. I'm having a great. I've only been here like 3 weeks now, but oh my god, I've been on the beach like every second day. It's wonderful.
Nice.
Wonderful. Like creatively, it's really hard. And acting right now, it's really hard. But I suppose we have to just keep going and be more creative in a way, or be better creative, because everything has turned like upside down. So we have to kind of just, everything is going to be. I even read there this morning, like Fair City, they have to read they're going to put the COVID-19 kind of pandemic in their show. So it's
Are they actually filming Fair City at the moment?
Yeah. I saw an Irish Independent today. It was just they're filming it, like the cameramen are with their masks, and then the actors, obviously they can't wear masks because they have to deliver the lines.
Yeah.
So they are filming at the moment.
Interesting.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. For anyone listening, Fair City is a long-running soap opera in Ireland, so equivalent to, Days of Our Lives or Another World in the U.S., or honestly, I have no idea what British long-running soap operas there are, so I couldn't compare it to one here in England, but whatever the British equivalent is of a long-running soap opera.
Exactly. So that's the challenge now, Milo, to just be creative, to stay creative. On one hand, we have so many online kind of courses, like writers courses and actors classes online. It's so easy you don't have to travel anywhere. It's just there. But at the same time, you miss being in class and having that personal touch, if I can say, that space.
Yeah, have you been doing any of the online classes? Like, I've thought about doing some of the, because I'm with you. I'd rather be in the space, especially as an actor, because you feed off the other person so much when you're in the same space. And I haven't really been motivated to do any online acting classes and stuff because it just doesn't appeal to me. Like, I don't feel like I want to do it. Have you done any, or even any other type of online workshops?
Yeah. So, I've done a writer's course, and so the University of Cambridge has a School of Continuing Studies, and it's basically you can do like a creative writers course there. So I did that it was a month-long course, really, really good, and you get to kind of learn about, I'm not sure if you learn about writing, but you get to learn about plot and it's practice, and you get feedback every short story you write.
So it's a short story, not scripts?
Not film scripts, no. Because I'm not going down that path yet of writing scripts for theatre.
Have you been doing any acting work since we last talked?
Yeah, I have. So James Kemp, he was my ex-teacher in Drama Centre, London, and all his classes have gone online. So he does a workshop every Wednesday, and he's really good. So he has a company in the UK called Effort Productions, and with his partner Sophie, and they're really, really good. I've never done face-to-face classes with them, but I've done some of his online classes, and really, really good. They're every Wednesday, and they try to work with method acting. So it's all about the inner, trying to work on your inner life as an actor, and it can relate to theatre, or it can relate to TV, both. So basically the work was created by Yat Malgrim. So he was the co-founder of Drama Centre in London, and he was a kind of a revolutionary when it came to method acting. So this work is based on 3 different characters. So I guess he tried to simplify it as much as possible. You were either these three characters, and Yat worked with some of the best known. He worked with Sean Connery. He worked with Pierce Brosnan, who are ex Drama Centre alumni. So and he worked with Colin Firth. So all of them would be aware about Yat's work.
Sorry, what did you say his name was?
Yat Malgrim's work. Yat Malgrim. So he was the co-founder. Him and Chris Fettis were the co-founders of Drama Centre in London, and Drama Centre was a revolutionary school that did its best to find a method for actors. So it was very close to dance, and it was very close to kind of was a professional dancer, so he brought a lot of his work into acting. So it was when I was in Drama Centre, it was basically a lot about using it for the stage. The work was made for the stage, but like I went to Drama Centre 15 years ago, so obviously different mediums have evolved, like television, like Netflix television, and everything. All the work for actors is online now, and sorry, what I mean online, I mean on online platforms like Netflix and HBO. So I think James that brought Yacht's work, Drama Centre's work. Yeah, you know, he kind of modernized it. So he knew that this is going, like, he knew that acting was going this way, as in most of the work and most of it was online. So obviously he adapted it as best he could to work online, to train actors for, you know, television screen,
to perform for that type of a medium versus like the overly dramatic stage performance.
Yeah, exactly. But fascinating work, definitely. So I've been doing that Wednesdays.
How do you find the online class experience? Because kind of what I was saying is like I've kind of been a bit hesitant because I don't have that in person. But it sounds like you're saying that it's actually not too bad.
I think like everything, you have to find that motivation in you, which is even harder these days. I remember like my teachers at Drama Centre, they would tell me, right, so okay, we're going to train you as an actor, but then when you leave drama school, you have to find that motivation to work, not only to work as in use the work, but find that motivation as in to find work as well. So it's all about motivation, and now it's really hard to be motivated for anything. So you're kind of just sitting with your notepad, sitting at a table. Okay, so trying to get inspired. You have all these ideas, but then, you know, a notification comes up or a bit of bad news about the state, you know, what's happening in the world, and it just kind of throws you completely. So it is so hard to be motivated as an actor these days. It really, it's one of the toughest things, because you just don't know where kind of next job is going to come.
Yeah, no, I kind of same thing. A friend of mine, we call it lockdown brain, because you know we're both a bit of writers, and it's like we should be using this time to write something brilliant, and it's so hard to just sit down and start typing. So you're not the only one. It sounds like a lot of people are having that experience during a period of time that we should be using it as an opportunity. Instead, it's actually the complete opposite, where it's actually demotivating almost.
Yeah, if I could, inspire is the wrong word, but if I could motivate someone, I would say just don't try to, how can I say this, you know, I remember I was walking on the beach in Portmarnock in Dublin, and my friend told me, you know, John, you know, during this crisis, there's going to be so many books written, you know. It seriously me thinking, right, great idea, you know, I'll have all this time in my hands, I'm gonna try it, but then that is stress in itself. You're like, okay, I have like a period of time, I want to write a book, you know, I have these 2 months or 3 months, that's it, I want to have a finished product. And I think it's important to just I think it's important to work in, definitely, like bit by bit every day, but not just put that pressure on yourself. Just not to give yourself, okay, this is my 2 months to write my bestseller novel. You know,
yeah.
I think what's important is to kind of just be there and just work hard. You know, just work hard at doing a bit every day.
Yep. So do you have something like? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and then when this whole thing finishes, hopefully, you know, you have your piece of work that you can keep going with.
Yeah. Do you have like a daily, you know, I must get, you know, this, and this done each day? Or because I know one of the previous people I spoke to on this podcast, she has a daily checklist that she does. So like every day I'm going to, you know, submit myself to X number of roles, or to do such and such. Do you have anything like that to kind of keep yourself motivated?
I am not that organized. I'm not that. I suppose what I'm good is that, okay, I just I think, okay, gotta get myself out to the gym and just be there and just, lift some weights. That gets rid of so much stress, and two, it's you gotta be in shape as an actor. So that would be my one. That would be my thing. I have to do. It's just no matter what. That's my one. If I don't do that, then my day doesn't go well.
Yeah, I understand. I'm that way. I've got it. I jog, so I try to jog a few times each week. And if I don't, I kind of feel that pent up energy. Have you been auditioning for anything like self tapes or sending your
what's on my checklist now is to just keep sending out applications. So one great that I suppose you don't have to be so location bound at the moment to. I think casting directors, if you're a casting director in London, to do casting these days, you don't have to be there in London, I don't think. So that's a great kind of big advantage. So I've been sending, say self tapes, CD, headshots, show reel. So what's next would be to update my show reel. So I did a short film about a year back with my friend Paul Heary. So I was in a scene on a short film. So obviously that was my last kind of thing I did. So I have to put that into my reel and just get that out there.
Have you been submitting for any auditions then, or no?
Yeah, I have. I'm trying to get. I've been submitting to different agents as well, because you have to. Because I have an agent in Spain, you see, so in Madrid, but it's not great because I'm I'm going to be more in Dublin these days, so I will still have him as an agent, but I think it's better to just if I'm going to be based in Dublin, I gotta have a solid agent there. Like some actors don't have agents and they still get work.
Yeah.
But you gotta. I mean, like Helen McCrory, she's in Peaky Blinders, and she's Cillian Murphy's. I think is it the mom or sister? It's sister, I think. Yeah, in Peaky Blinders. I can't remember her character, but when she didn't have an agent for years, but she still became a very successful actress.
Bill Murray doesn't have an agent, and he's super famous.
He doesn't?
No. Yeah, he has a phone number that you can call, and he occasionally listens to the messages. I guess if you get to that level of fame, you can get away with it. But I don't know if he's ever had an agent. I would imagine at some point in his life maybe he had one, but he certainly has not had one for a very long time.
So this is Bill Murray, as in Lost in Translation. Yeah,
Ghostbusters.
Same actor, right?
Yeah, that Bill Murray.
Yeah.
No, doesn't have an agent. He just has a phone number that you can call and leave a message on.
What a cool guy! I can't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
When Lost in Translation, he kind of played himself in a way, didn't he? Because he was an actor playing a character in the film.
I think so. And did you know?
No, I didn't explain that properly.
I know what you mean, though. He's an actor. He's a real life actor playing an actor.
Exactly. I do think of like how theater makers are gonna keep going during this whole lockdown, and because theaters haven't really opened yet. So my obviously favorite theater writer, script writer, is Martin McDonagh, and he wrote that film like 3 Billboards West of, what's the name of the film? Milo? 3 Billboards.
3 Billboards in Billing, Montana, I think is what it is. Or if that's not it, that's very close to what it is.
So he wrote that film, and he wrote In Bruges, and he wrote, and his brother wrote The Guard film with Brendan Gleeson. So I do wonder about how writers, like how the most famous, even, you know, this is biting everyone, from expiring writers to famous writers like Martin McDonagh, like how, so they must be, they're either going to like thrive on this to use it as great inspiration, or they're either going to go, or they're either going to feel the toughness of it. You know, they're either going to thrive or just do okay. Or
do you think we're going to see in a couple of years a lot of COVID-related films, or do you think it'll be the complete opposite, where we see a bunch of like happy films that, you know, are completely unrelated?
Oh, definitely. I think there's going to be so many COVID-related films, like maybe not just the COVID thing, you know, not the outbreak, whatever. I think it's just, you know, that could just play in the background, and it could be based on, like, for example, you know, the film The Pilot with Denzel Washington, where he flew a plane upside down and kind of he saved people by flying the plane upside down. So that was based on a pilot that was drunk. That, you know, that was based on true story, but obviously the pilot didn't fly the plane upside down. So you see where I'm getting at. There's going to be, you know, there could be a film that you'd have COVID thing in the background, and it would affect it directly or indirectly, for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
And you could do it in any type of genre. You could do it like comedy, horror, thriller. Any kind of genre would fit it, would suit it.
Romance film, your romance film with two people self-isolating across from each other in an apartment complex, talking to each other through Post-it notes on the windows.
Yeah, there's definitely material there, for sure. I feel like we're definitely living a film now, and the director's just going to say stop or cut once.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
any month now, the director's going to say cut.
How long are you going to be down in Portugal?
I'll be back in Dublin like next week. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just one more week. So yeah, but it's a great place to be. Bit of sun, bit of beach. It's lovely.
I was going to ask you,
a bit of shade.
You're a big fan of swing dancing, right? Because I've seen you post a few things on Instagram. What? Because I remember, in the late '90s, it kind of made a bit of a revival in Seattle. And the girl I was dating, we both went out and we'd do swing dancing all the time. It was just a blast. And kind of got out of it, didn't really stick with it. But I noticed you still do that quite a bit. What got you into that?
Oh, the energy is just, it's a great social scene. It's a great way to also meet people, to move, you know, to dance, to move. You meet a lot of artistic people. Like some kind of acting jobs that I got was through the swing dancing scene. So my friend that's an actress, Argentinian actress. She said, "Look, oh John, there's this like play going." This was a couple of years ago. It was when it was the anniversary, the 100th anniversary of Russian Revolution. And it was obviously about Russia. And she said, like, there's this part going, and would you be kind of up for it, you know? And the part was really cool, was great, because I only had about 4 lines, but I was in the whole play. So it was kind of like a 1 act, 1 hour long play, highly intense. And obviously I was doing it, being in Madrid, I was doing it in Spanish. And the director was saying to me, John, you got to keep working on your vowel sounds, you know, and, you know, you got to work to kind of, you know, you got to work in your vowel sounds, because some of your vowel sounds, they're just slightly off, the way you have to be kind of precise, especially in theater. And Yeah, definitely. So I do obviously have an accent when I speak Spanish, and he said like just keep working at that. So then I ended up getting a dialogue coach, and she really helped me, really helped me. So we got to travel with it. We were in Madrid, and we did a few performances there at a few universities. And this was when the socialist government was just getting into power. Pedro Sanchez, the prime minister, he's socialist party are in power now. So it was a very kind of left wing movement happening in Spain. What happened after was we went to Bilbao to put on, and we had a great time. Obviously got to experience the city, Bilbao, and like people from that area. How can I? I'm trying to describe them without being too. So they're very, I suppose, political, because they have their own language called Euskadi, which is different from Spanish, and they're very proud of their language. So obviously people that had Euskadi as very pro of using their native language came to see it. So it was so interesting just hearing them speak a completely other language. When the director was telling me that I was getting my Spanish Castilian vowel sounds wrong. So it was just a wonderful experience. And so we did 2 shows and came back to Madrid. But we got a great response, as in tourism people were very tuned in to Irish politics and kind of knew more about Irish politics than I did, because I suppose like any kind of struggle, so they could relate their struggle of Euskadi, their native language, to Irish history and kind of the Troubles and Bobby Sands, and they knew all about this. So I was so taken back when they could tell me about all this, So yeah, the same way as Catalonia, they're very, very passionate about Catalan. So they would try to have Catalan as their first language as opposed to Spanish. As opposed to Castilian Spanish.
I know a girl there in Ireland, and she's Catalonian, and it's interesting how offended she gets if people refer to her as Spanish, because she wants that separate. She's very into that Catalonian separation from Spain. So,
I think languages. Yeah, language is definitely part of our culture, part of our identity, and obviously, as actors, the more languages we speak, like obviously, the better.
Yeah. Or accents that we can do.
That's well, of course, yeah, accents are really, really important as well. I can't remember the name of that actor that was in Quentin Tarantino's film. That he can speak German and English and Italian. He played the Nazi at the start of the film.
Oh yeah. I will remember his name when we get off this call here, but I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, he's brilliant, very talented. Yeah.
Yeah, so he very talented and like has an array of accents. So yeah, so that would be the goal for me, to kind of just keep going with either I go back and still try to work in Spain if I can. Obviously, film, my film projects that I try to get up off the ground, or go to Dublin. And it's tough in Dublin, I reckon, for actors. It really is. You do have just the established actors, Michael Fassbender, and Colin Farrell. They're just, so any kind of movie roles that are, they're kind of, any Hollywood films they would be just on first on the director's lips. But still, there's just films being made or will be made, hopefully. So it's definitely I'm definitely at a crossroads at the moment as an actor to try to decide where my location will be.
Is it between Spain or Ireland?
Yeah. I reckon there's a lot of things that happen in Spain, like a lot. So when I did I think we chatted about Still, that HBO series I did, Still Star-Crossed. We chatted about that on No Budget. So yeah, there's definitely lots of stuff being made in Spain. Great location for kind of period dramas. You have the weather there, first of all.
Yeah, and people I know that are working in Ireland, you're right, there's kind of a core group of big names there that get all the work, and then everybody else, there's not a lot of opportunity. But it seems like it's getting better. It seems like more and more stuff is being filmed there, especially television-wise. A lot of television's being filmed there, so you can pick up roles and kind of work your way in.
For example, commercial work in Madrid and Spain, it's huge. It's like if actors don't mind doing that, going to if you don't mind kind of commercial work, I don't mind it. Obviously, I do mind when I'm waiting in a casting room for 2 hours, to do a casting, or 2.5 hours, like I did sometimes. But there's a lot of commercial work in Spain. A lot. You can't, I did about 6 or 7 commercials.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it does pay the bills. You're basically a bit of stress there when you're sitting for 2 hours waiting to go in and get seen. but yeah, I did that was great for me, just to pay the bills. Really was. That's the challenge now, where I'm going to be based. That's it. I think, definitely going to be between Spain and Dublin, or both, if I can. If that makes sense.
Hopefully whichever one you go with, it works out. All right, we should probably wrap up here.
Yeah.
For anyone listening, if you'd like to track John down.
Thanks, Milo.
Yeah, no problem. He's on Instagram. It's actor John Joseph, and I'll throw the link into the show notes.
Actor John Joseph 2019.
Actor John Joseph 2019.
Yeah.
That's your Instagram?
That's it.
If you want to watch our previous chat where we talked about one of John's film projects, that's on the No Budget YouTube channel. I'll also throw a link into the show notes. And I was looking it up while we were talking. The actor we were talking about is Christoph Waltz, earlier from Inglourious Basterds. Multi-talented.
That's it, Christopher Waltz. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Thank you, Milo. All right. Thanks, Milo. Thank you so much.
Thanks, John. Talk to you later.